Welcome to Tea and Shenanigans. It's been a while and we're back, baby. Luke, you ready for this?
I am ready.
It's going to be rapid fire. So much has happened since the last time we spoke. Just get ready.
I've heard a couple of things, but I don't have very many details on them.
First up, I think we need to talk about, we were just discussing, it shouldn't be called an abdication, even though that's technically what it is. It's the Queen, I'm going to say her name wrong, Margaret the second of Denmark, stepping aside. I say she's passing the torch to her son, the now King Frederick X, which I think is so cool because he had, the Roman numeral 10X. So it's like Frederick and then X, Frederick X. That's cool. I mean, kind of
10s are always fun.
He lucked out on that one. Anyway, this is a historic, monumental event. It hasn't happened in Denmark since, it's been hundreds of years. I can't remember wait a minute. Since, I can look it up, 1146, King Eric III. That's how long it's been since a monarch of Denmark has abdicated. Thoughts?
Could call it retire-acated. Sorry. Well, it sounds really interesting to me. I think it sounds like a good idea.
I'm glad you say that because I've heard other people comment on it and I'm in agreement that this could be the catalyst, is that the right word, for monarchs going forward, especially, and I don't want to come across as ageist here, but there are other countries where the current reigning monarch is quite elderly. And given the way that people are, living so much longer than they used to and whatever, this idea of remaining on the throne until you kick the bucket, it's kind of outdated if you think about it.
Well, and doing it in this way, it gives each member in the line a kind of different parts of their life they can experience.
Yeah.
So, you're in waiting and then you're doing the role and then you get to retire and then you can just advise.
Yeah, mentor.
Exactly.
I think it's fantastic. She is paving the way. In my opinion, she's a trailblazer. That's what did you know? This is so random. I didn't realize this. She's over 6 feet tall.
Really?
Yeah. That blew my mind. And I thought, wow, now that I think about it in photos, sometimes she is towering over people. But yeah, that's really random. What I find interesting on the gossipy side of this, crazy, right? This comes on the heels of, do you remember in one of our first Tea and Shenanigans episodes when I told you the whole sordid story of Frederick and the woman in Spain and all of that? Okay, there was talk. There was a lot of people speculating. And I think this is nonsense. It doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't. But there were people saying that this whole thing of abdication was done to take attention away from and kind of sweep that under the rug. I think that's nonsense. But
that seems extreme.
It does, which is why I don't buy it. Other people like I love to quote, and I love, she gives great information. Lady Colin Campbell, she says, that the truth is that this has been on the burner for some time and it's been under consideration for a while. And what are they calling her now? Not the Queen Mother, but like is it not Dowager Queen?
No, because she's not a widow.
She is a widow.
I know, but she's not the widowed spouse of a king.
Anyway, the former queen, even though she's still called Queen Margaret. Anyway, she said it was because of her health, which makes sense. She's in her 80s, I think. So anyway,
it makes sense.
Right. But also, even if that were all true, all the stuff that supposedly happened in Spain and all that, the now Queen Mary, I guess this is her reward for sticking it out and being a good wife. If you want to call it that. I don't know. There's so much chatter around that. It's amazing. Anyway, so now people are talking about, well,
it is a little weird that there have been two major stories about the Danes so close together because normally they're so quiet. Right?
And now there's just like international news. I watched some of the ceremony. It was kind of cool. A little emotional considering they're not really, again, they're not known for that type of thing. But I guess the way they do it is the queen and the heir apparent Prince Frederick, they go before to some council. I don't know how all of their government works, and they sign documents and whatever. And the Queen, walks out, and there he is. And then they do the whole balcony thing, kind of like the British. And so, he comes out, and then the whole family, and they're just all lovely and gorgeous, and actually, it's announced by, I don't remember what her title was. It's like the head of something.
The prime minister, or is this a member of the court?
I don't remember. I should know. But anyway, it was just really cool. She comes out, she makes this announcement that I can't understand a word of. And then they all chant this, I don't know what they're saying in Danish. And then they're doing like this thing with their hand like this.
Long live the king.
It might be. It's just so you can tell it's some probably storied thing, part of their heritage that they do, or some kind of tradition, and then that's it. And then he comes out and he's king. It's just one of those things that that's a historical moment that's going to be in history books and recorded as such. And there it is, live on live stream to watch on the other side of the world from where I am. But anyway, congratulations to King Frederick X, Queen Mary, and all of that. Hopefully that will be successful, going forward. But anyway, you want to get into juicier things?
Sure.
You have this look of terror on your face. Well, we cannot have a tea and shenanigans without talking about, okay, what name? The gruesome twosome, Hank and Skank, whatever. Harry and Meghan. These two, they keep turning up like a bad penny. They just won't go away. But it's also super entertaining. Now, as we sit here, I believe it was, 2 or maybe 3 days ago, they went to the premiere of a movie about Bob Marley. So I think it's called like One Love or something like that.
I saw a trailer for that.
Right. Yeah. In Jamaica. And you think, whatever. I mean, they'll show up to the opening of an envelope. It's not that big of a deal. What is interesting is that not only was this, I think it was made by, and the executive of president or whatever of Paramount Plus was there, while they still supposedly have this deal with Netflix. They took like this photo with them or whatever. I don't know what they're trying to signal with that. Like, oh, we're still viable. Like, we're in demand, which nobody believes, FYI. But the political moment occurred when, and keep in mind, and we'll get into this later, this is all happening while King Charles and the Princess of Wales are in the hospital for various things. So the the most senior member, of course, the monarch, and one of the most senior members of the family are in the hospital. They're out of commission. And instead of, laying low or just kind of sending their best wishes or whatever it is, maybe even, God forbid, getting on a plane and going over there to visit your father in the hospital, your sister-in-law. No. They go to the opening of a movie in Jamaica and are pictured being very friendly with the Prime Minister of Jamaica, who is extremely anti-monarchist and would be very happy to see them removed. So that's how they spent I think it was it last weekend? Gosh, today's Monday. I think it was maybe Saturday or something. But yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah, they just keep doing dumb, ridiculous things. And my favorite, of course, because I'm going to be petty. I'm going to be petty. The wife was pictured wearing this really interesting, don't get me wrong, what she was wearing would have been okay in a different setting. But she turns up in this like ball gown looking outfit, and but Harry's there wearing like this kind of regular looking suit with no tie. Everybody else is a little more dressed down, and she shows up like she's going to a gala or something. And then my favorite is there's pictures of them being seated in the theater, and you can tell it's not like a fancy sort of place. To me it looked like the inside of just a regular movie theater, at least over here. And they just sit down in these like red kind of folding chair, like in a movie theater, right? Cinema, whatever. It just looks so odd. And she's in this big like ball gown, and she's sitting in the skirts going everywhere, and it just looks so out of place. And I thought, oh man, there's some of my accounts on YouTube, the ones I like to follow, they're gonna have a field day with this, and they did.
So was anybody else wearing?
No, not that I saw.
Interesting.
Not that I.
And is this, once again, I need to ask, is this like a sponsored dress? Like she's wearing a designer who gave this to her? There was no
mention of that. But as I say, I'm telling you, I don't think that ever, well, I don't know. I think her strategy is I'm going to wear some of this stuff, be seen in it, and then maybe the brands will offer me a deal, and then it never happens. But she keeps trying. I could be wrong, of course. I don't know.
She had like surgery of time.
Oh, that's another thing. I gotta. Have you not seen photos? I saw the photos at first, and I saw Harry, and then these other people, and I thought, okay, maybe he's at another. Oh, because I got to talk about another event he was at, another ridiculous nonsense. But I saw there was him, a woman, another woman, and a man. There's a foursome in this picture, and I saw him, and I thought, okay, he's at another event by himself. And then I looked closer, and I was like, wait a second. That's the wife. That's Meg, because her face looked different. I don't know what she's been, allegedly, I don't know what she's been having done, but she really looked, I didn't recognize her at first in the photo. That's how different it looked to me. Whoa. I don't know if it was makeup and the lighting, but I seriously think, I mean, she's definitely had work done before, but I think this might explain her absence for the last several weeks, month, whatever it's been. Yeah. So that's interesting. But anyway, back on the Harry deal. Did you know this dude, they're out buying awards again. I mean, they're famous for doing that now. This time he got, are you ready for this? Legend of Aviation Award.
For?
Oh, yeah. That's
exactly. For what?
U.S. They're trying to put him like in a museum of aviation history.
Well,
he's not a U.S. citizen even.
No, he's a member of, no. And it's presented by John Travolta, who is kind of a legend of aviation. Like he's been in that for a long time. He can fly like jets. Like he's, Harry, supposedly according to like the, when he was in the military, he never really actually piloted anything. He was like a gunner or whatever.
Isn't he a Marine?
He was,
I don't know.
He did fly, but there's certain stuff like kind of, I don't know if it's what I read, what's called the Apache.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't fly it. The Black Hawk, he didn't fly it.
Helicopters.
Yeah, helicopters, those type of airplanes for the army.
Yeah.
Not an actual like F-16 or whatever.
Yeah.
But he's not being included in the UK one, like a book or something. But here in the US, they're trying to give him like a trophy.
Well, they removed any mention of him from Sandhurst, which is that like elite military academy over there. Yeah, even though Prince William is there, obviously, but they like cut the ginger out. Yeah, wild. But this is where it gets really wild. This tells you what kind of person you're dealing with here. Not only is this award bought and paid for, I mean, that's just how this works. And he goes up there, he's presented the award by John Travolta, who famously, danced with Princess Diana at I think it was the White House or whatever. Mm-hmm. You remember that? There's all these, it was a famous thing, whatever. It was a fun, cute thing. And Harry, this classless egomaniac, he says something to Travolta, like he mentions that event and says, I think that Travolta has been dining out on the memory of that event ever since, like using it or whatever. John Travolta doesn't need to use, like, does this guy understand what he's talking about? He doesn't. I thought that is so embarrassing. Everybody commented on it, like just the way he talked to him and the way you could tell Harry just goes around thinking he is like the most important person and everybody sees him the way he sees himself. And so I really think this has all been a huge, I don't know, shocking slap of reality that he wasn't ready for. And I think he might be in denial a little bit. I'm not sure.
So what organization is presenting this award?
Oh, yeah, it was, I don't remember. It was just, I just remember it was called Legends of Aviation.
And what's it for? I'm trying to figure this out.
He's not a U.S. citizen.
I mean, you don't have to be for this.
No,
but
it's like something for the U.S. only.
Mm.
And he's included in it, but he's not even a U.S. citizen.
Living Legends of Aviation. Living Legends of Aviation that's the organization. That's what it's called. Did you know that he's now among the same names as Buzz Aldrin? That's how ridiculous this is. I think if this is the right one I'm thinking of. Holy moly. I could be wrong. Anyway, it's just there it is. Prince Harry.
I mean,
There are big names on here. Yeah.
It's like a private organization or something?
It's a nonprofit.
Okay, so I guess they can pick whoever they want if they give them enough money, but it just seems a little odd to pick him.
It's just weird. And the other weird thing about it,
he was known for his piloting or his aviation.
He's not. I'm telling you, this dude, if he had not been born into the family he was born into and the title and all that, I seriously think he would be, I don't know, working at a 7-Eleven or something. Like, you are not dealing with a great intellect or talented individual.
He will be collecting jerseys at a soccer club, like after the games, and go clean them.
I mean, I really don't mean to be intentionally insulting, but like, it's just so obvious what you're dealing with. Anyway, so there's that. But another layer to this whole shooting match is that Megan, who was supposed to have attended with him originally, at the last minute doesn't show up and claims one of their children is sick. Which one? I don't know if she had decided which one was sick yet, but the word was that she, and I totally believe this because of other things that she's done, and she's crazy and psychotic, but I'm sorry, but there's just a lot of evidence pointing in that direction. But anyways, there was word going around that she wanted to try to recreate the Princess Diana John Travolta movement, because as we all know, Meghan is Princess Diana reincarnate. So there was talk of that. And I don't know if she was directly shot down or what, but she ended up not going, which tells me that she probably was told she couldn't do something she wanted to do. So she's like, okay, I'm just not going to go.
Her people talked to his people and it didn't work out. Exactly. So anyway, and there were people saying, oh, this is my favorite. What if the dress she showed up in at that movie premiere was what she was gonna wear to this other event? She had it because Princess Diana wore like this black ball gown thing because it was a formal event. And then Megan shows up in this black ball gown thing and she's like, you know what? I had it for this event and I'm gonna wear it. So I don't care what everyone else is looking like. Here I am, you know? That's what I think. Wow.
That was a lot of information, I know, but process. What do you think?
They're just kind of a train wreck.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on to, I don't want to say nicer things, but in my view, nicer people, but also within the British. There's news and speculation, but surprisingly, it's been pretty airtight. There hasn't been any real substantive information coming out. To me, it came as kind of a shock. Kensington Palace made this announcement, I guess it's been about a week or so ago, that the Princess of Wales I think she had already undergone the surgery, some kind of abdominal surgery. They said it was pre-planned, but it couldn't have been that pre-planned because it necessitated them canceling a bunch of her engagements. Like there was this planned trip to Italy that she and the Prince of Wales were going to go on. And so that had to be canceled, which tells me that it couldn't have been planned that far out, you know?
Well, I mean, that could have been, but I mean, their itinerary is planned out a long way ahead.
That's a good point. They
did
say
like a surgery being planned out. Like if they figured out, oh, she needs a surgery, it could have been like 6 months ahead, but still they'd have to change a whole bunch of stuff.
They did say it was not cancerous, but apart from that, you know, they want to keep it private, which that's fine. But what everyone's chattering about is that she was in the hospital for, gosh, I think because I just saw she was released, was that today or yesterday? But she'd been in there for a solid week or more, which I feel like that's a long time. And then she's going to be at home recovering and will not return to public duties until, I think they said after Easter.
Okay.
So that's a long time. Yeah, here, let me read it. From Kensington Palace, the Princess of Wales has returned home to Windsor to continue her recovery from surgery. She's making good progress. The Prince and Princess wish to say a huge thank you to the entire team at the clinic, etc. They're grateful for the well wishes they've received from around the world. But anyway, it's interesting that happened because at the same time they come out with, not Kensington Palace, but
it's been more than 10 days. Like this first statement was on the 17th of January, and today is the 29th of January.
Yeah, so it's okay. It's been closer to 2 weeks, week and a half. But then at the same time, they come out and say, well, not only that, but the king is going in for surgery for an enlarged prostate or something like that, which in my view is a little too much information. They say they put those details out to encourage people to go, you know, get screened or whatever it was, which fine, but it's a little more than I wanted to know. But it's just interesting that two of the biggest, people in the family are down for the count and having surgery and whatever at the same time. But then this brought up the whole, the counselors of state situation and all that. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, it's interesting because back in 2022, that had been amended to include the Princess Royal and Prince Edward as counselors of state. I guess previously they were not. And it was done in perpetuity, meaning they will remain counselors of state until they die. Whereas you have Andrew, Harry, whatever, who are they're going to age out basically, or kind of be phased out once Prince George, Princess Charlotte, Prince Louis become of age and they take that on. These others will kind of be pushed aside. Mm-hmm. But I think they did it in case something like this happens, because now you have the Princess Royal and Prince Edward who can step in. And so no one has to care about the other two spares and that, Andrew and Harry. But people were saying that after this happened, that, basically nobody even acknowledged Harry's existence, which, just a few years ago, he probably would have been in the thick of things, involved there, helping do whatever. And now no one even thinks to ask him to do anything, because why would you? But it's just so bizarre that as this is happening with his own father, I can't fathom. They're over there taking pictures with a prime minister that hates his guts, basically, and wants him to go. You know what I mean? Who does that? They do that. That's the answer.
Someone wanting to make a point.
Obviously.
Oh. It also kind of, once again, this stuff is probably planned out pretty far in advance, but also kind of makes me wonder if they might have asked if their presence was permitted back in the UK, for any of this. And they were told no.
Could be.
And then they're like, okay, fine.
Screw you.
We're going to a movie premiere.
I could totally see that. That's because that's the best they could come up with a movie. Oh, also, this is another little tidbit. There's word going around. Also, credit to Lady Colin Campbell. It's where I heard it. That
I got something for you when you're done.
Okay, I'll try to make this quick. Okay, so Jeff Bezos, Mr. Amazon, he was divorced several years ago, that whole thing. And now he's with this woman who was married when they got together. And it's just this whole sordid thing. That's not really the point. The point is that, what's her name? I think her name is Lauren Sanchez. I don't really know her story, but whatever. Word is that Harry and Meghan kind of try to frequent the same circles and want to of course they want to cozy up to the billionaires because why not? But supposedly Sanchez has given instructions, this is per Lady Colin Campbell, to keep Meghan away from them because she doesn't want her trying to cozy up to Jeffy boy.
Oh my goodness.
Because everybody knows it's like the unsaid, it's like the non-secret secret that she, if she could, catch a billionaire, she would, and she'd leave the ginger in the dust. Because anyway, I just thought that was funny because apparently
moving her way up the ladder.
Yeah. Apparently
she did Hollywood, she did the royal thing.
Yeah.
On to the billionaire.
She tries to pretend like she's living a billionaire, but they don't have near that kind of money. Anyway, so there was a big party for, I don't know if it was his birthday party, something like that. Some big, every famous person you can imagine is there for Bezos. And of course, Harry and Meghan, not invited. So they go to this little rinky-dink movie premiere instead.
Back to the movie story.
Oh, okay.
It says Prince Harry and Meghan Markle stuck in Jamaica as John Travolta denies private jets for a U.S. return.
Oh my goodness. That's why you don't tick off John Travolta. So they go to the movie premiere. Did they go there on his jet? Did they go there on his jet?
I think it says denies, and then it says Brian Robbins, Paramount CEO, told Harry and Meghan no, they couldn't ride back on his jet. He said, I did not invite him. Witnesses said he was not happy with them. Other on the line saying the same. They have not outside the red carpet crashed photo ops with Robbins, but inside Robbins nor the Jamaican Prime Minister would not sit with them nor give them VIP seats for the movie theater.
Oh my goodness, it gets better and better.
Here's the interesting part. They got escorted to the middle of the 7th or 8th
Yes,
row back.
I read about
way
that.
back
The
from
cheap
front.
seats.
The same thing that the Platinum Service, I don't know what that mean. Harry argued with one of the ushers. Then Harry tried to get Patricia and Egan, I don't know who they are.
Mm-mm.
They're someone,
I don't know.
with their spouse to move down so they would have the aisle seat. But Meghan jumped in the line behind William and Catherine or before for the paparazzi shot. The royals were ready for them. Sounds like Robbins and Evans organization were too. Kind of, I don't know, someone's just writing that.
Okay, so what you're getting at is, okay, first I heard John Travolta tells him, no, you can't get a ride back on my private jet, which incidentally, that is the joke that goes around, that they're constantly going around trying to hitch rides on other people's jets because, spoiler alert, they don't have enough money for their own. Just throwing that out there. And then I heard about this also, now that you point that out, the head of Paramount Plus, people are saying, and there is some video showing this, that there's a picture of them and it looks like it's like a photo op they were supposed to have, but people are saying that they like photo bombed, like the Paramount guy is there with his wife or girlfriend or whoever she was, and they just kind of come up and like, you know, start like they're supposed to be there.
Okay.
It's so embarrassing.
So this writer said, the theory is like they were invited to draw attention to a low budget film.
Yes.
Maybe, but once they showed up, they were done.
Yeah, that's it. Their purpose was to just get the movie in the headlines, and nobody cared about them after that, because that's all they're really good for. It's like a circus act. Like they're good for nothing else other than publicity.
That's really
Sanchez?
sad.
Is that the CEO?
No, that's Jeff Bezos's fiance or whatever. Lauren Sanchez.
They got stuck in Jamaica because both Lauren Sanchez and John Travolta denied them a private jet for them.
And I just explained why that is for Lauren Sanchez. She's keeping Meghan away from Honey Bunny. Yeah.
I guess at least until she has him locked up in a full contract.
Yeah. So she's got the ring. Oh, I mean, she already has a massive ring, but so I guess they get married or whatever. I don't know. It's all so ridiculous. I get secondhand embarrassment from these people.
Yeah, she's the wife of Amazon founder Jeff Bezos. I think he's a new wife, maybe.
Well, did they get married already? I thought they were just engaged.
She's the wife.
Oh, maybe. Anyways, yeah, wild stuff. I'm trying to think. I know there's more stuff, and I can't remember what it is now. Of course, that was a wild ride. Can you handle any more? It might be.
I definitely.
You could. Okay.
Are there any other families that have been in the news lately?
I think. Well, we covered this last time, but it was Mustafa and I. Did you hear the whole story about the Queen of Spain and the guy that she? Wait a minute. That used to be married to her sister. And he claims that they had like a relationship, and she and everyone else says that it's just absolutely ridiculous, and he's just trying to get attention and whatever. And did you hear about all that?
I haven't heard anything about that.
So that's basically it. That her ex-brother-in-law has been, I guess, trying to exact revenge on her and his ex-wife, her sister. His evidence is one picture of the Queen Laetitia. It's like a mirror selfie. Nothing bad, nothing whatever. And he's just claiming that she sent that to him. Even if she did, it was nothing. It was nothing at all. And claiming that that's like, and saying that they had this relationship and whatever. And everyone says it's nonsense.
So,
Drama.
What John Travolta denied.
Oh, we're back to John Travolta. Let's hear it.
So it says, everyone knows John Travolta. He's a licensed pilot, famous actor.
Mm-hmm, yes.
He's a good friend for Tom Cruise regarding the Scientology beliefs.
Yep, Scientology.
All of that.
Yep.
They're close friends since a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently, Tom Cruise challenged the Meghan and Harry for a dance at the premiere of the movie, but they declined the invitation. So John Travolta, since they declined the invitation of his friend, he sided.
Oh, I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, this is what it said.
Interesting.
He sided with Tom Cruise.
Okay.
And saying that he can't have them in his jet.
Okay, now I'm questioning
There's
this.
no more room for them.
I question this because I cannot envision a scenario in which Meghan and Harry would turn down an invite from Tom Cruise. You can't get more A-list Hollywood than that. Okay, now where are you getting this? Let me see. What's the source?
It was a blog someone is writing.
Oh, so that is real, like gossip. Who knows? I don't know. That's red flags go off. If Tom Cruise invited them to the opening of a, I don't know, lavatory, I think they'd probably be there.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I don't know though. There have been persistent stories that they are, ask for rides on people's jets. Sometimes they say yes. Sometimes they say no. Who knows? Anyways, I wonder what supposedly Tom Cruise invited them to.
So, says they had to stay an extra night at a local hotel, which was married by an angry protesters accusing them of disrespecting Jamaicans and their culture.
Interesting.
Protesters waved the Jamaican flag and chanted slang, explaining that the couple had ignored the challenge faced by Jamaican in terms of corruption and violence caused by the United Kingdom.
Oh.
They also accused Harry and Meghan of insulting the Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holmes by attending the lunch with him.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but interesting. They just can't, they can't catch a break. You almost start to feel bad for them, but then I can't do it. Anyways, yeah, so that was going on in Spain. That's it's a little old, but yeah, interesting.
And the one who offered them to take them back was Oprah Winfrey.
Oprah, well,
she was there.
Oprah.
Oprah. Their only ally in the U.S. at the moment.
The only friend they have. That's not saying very much. But anyways,
well, it's not bad.
I don't know. Oprah's lost it's funny. She's lost a little bit of her shimmer, a little bit of her credibility after that interview with them because it was all a bunch of hogwash and she didn't even question it. She just bought everything that they said.
Yeah, but she's still super rich.
Oh yeah. So, that absolutely.
Part's definitely still.
Absolutely. And then it didn't make it better was she, the fire and all that happened in Hawaii and she, did nothing about it. She's worth zillions and owns all kinds of land and just, did nothing about it to help anybody. But I'm not really here to bash Oprah. I don't know enough about it. Never paid much attention, but anyways.
What about the thing related to the royal family?
What?
Prince Philip, was it? And the Epstein list?
Oh, the Epstein list. I didn't hear about Prince Philip.
Who was it in the...
Prince Andrew.
Andrew.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I've heard interesting takes on this. One, of course, as usual, the unique one comes from Lady Colin Campbell. And she, who seems to have a great deal of knowledge about it, says that the woman that came forward and accused him and with whom he then settled out of court for Prince Andrew for an undisclosed sum of money. I forget the woman's name. I want to say Virginia something. Supposedly she, when she was participating in all this activity back then she's considered underage in the US, but she would not have been considered underage in other places at the time. I think she was like 18 or 19, something like that, something to where she would have been the age of majority in other countries. And
18 is in the US.
Or maybe it was 17 because there's some places where it's younger than 18. That's not really the gist of the argument. She's Lady Colin Campbell was saying that she was a willing participant and that apparently there was evidence. I don't know if it came out. I don't know. We're just kind of speculating here. She says that on multiple occasions, when she was this girl at the time, she would like her parents would take her to the airport to go and, I don't know if they knew what she was going to participate in, but her own parents were dropping her off at the airport. And it's not like she went one time and something bad happened and she just, and never, she multiple times engaged in this and she was well paid for it and she kept going back and whatever. And now she's portraying herself as this like terrible victim who was whatever. And I don't know. I guess technically both things could be true, but it is interesting if all that is correct, that she kept going back and she was paid and her she flew around here and there. I think she came from kind of a well-to-do family and the parents didn't say anything about it. They didn't question or whatever it was. That was just a take I had never heard on the whole situation. Of course, all I've ever heard is what they report in the U.S. news, which we all know. You can't trust a word of what they say. So that was interesting. When I heard that, I thought, not that what Andrew was doing was right. I'm not saying that at all. I think he's a creep and I think he's a narcissist and whatever. But, it's possible that this is another one of those like kind of Me Too things where who knows how much of it is true, how much of it was really a whole victim situation. I don't know.
I definitely err more on the side of that. It was definitely an exploitative situation. I mean, I don't care if they were paying her well. These are still very powerful individuals who are convincing someone who is, I mean, even if she was 18, that's still very young. And it's just not good.
Yeah, it just sounds like everyone involved was just a degenerate freak at some point or other. Unfortunate. But yeah, that's been coming out. People have known about that for years with Andrew. And I know the list came out, but it revealed some stuff, but keeping in mind that, and this isn't what we really talk about here. It was depositions of people and the stuff that came out in that. It wasn't like documents recovered from Epstein's home or something like that. So anyway, yeah. But Andrew, oh, good Lord. Ugh. Oh, on that note, Fergie, as in Sarah Ferguson, did you know that she had breast cancer? She had surgery for that. And then shortly after that, she was diagnosed with melanoma.
No.
So it's been an interesting little medical thing going on over there. The whole family, it's just like, well, I don't know what's happening. But yeah.
The family and adjacent members.
Exactly. I wonder how the corgis are doing. She takes care of them, right?
Aww.
Yeah. So sweet. Okay, that's all I have. I'm trying to rack my brain if there's more gossip, more dirt, but I think that's it for this time. Did I just overwhelm you?
A little bit. But,
as usual.
But it sounds like there was plenty for now.
Oh, yes, and there will be plenty more next time. But I do think that we should address the whole Denmark abdication thing in a Royal Chronicles episode.
I want to do a abdication parallels episode.
Oh, that's
where we can talk
idea.
About different abdications in different places and countries.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sorry, time periods and countries, and the sort of effect each one had based on its context.
Excellent idea. And I would like to go on record as saying it for anybody that's listening. I could be talking to just you and I'm whatever. I do think that it would behoove King Charles to really consider. I know he waited 70 whatever years to be king, but in the grand scheme of things, I think it would be a good idea if he really considered what it would do for the monarchy in a positive sense if he were to be king for, 10 years and then hand it over to the younger, that everybody loves, the Prince and Princess of Wales.
I mean, they are all about tradition and precedent.
I get that, and I respect it. But if you want to maintain this monarchy that's been around for 1,000 years, and who knows if it will continue to exist, maybe you got to do some unprecedented things. That's just my opinion. All right, enough of the tea and the shenanigans. Speaking of tea, I need to go heat up. Mine got cold in this. We're talking. Okay. Thanks for listening. It's been lots of fun. See you next time for gossip, speculation, and nonsense from all corners of the royal globe.
See you next time.